Good morning, everybody. Hey, welcome to Monday. Welcome to Happy President's Day. It's February 15th, a little over halfway through the month of February. So, hey, the week, I know a lot of folks are off today. Hey, we're in the office. Even though the markets are closed today, we're here to help support our clients. So, with that, Dave and I will have a conversation. Obviously, the markets won't open today, but we'll find some little tidbit to talk about today as we get ready to start the week. So again, thanks for joining us. Dave will be coming up next.
5 Light FM. Hello there. It's 8:37 now, 23 before 9. It's President's Day. What that means is our stock markets are closed for today, so real money isn't going to get thrown around for a little while, not until tomorrow morning. That doesn't mean that money's not doing something out there. As a matter of fact, it's doing some weird stuff. Let's go downtown to find out what exactly it is. From Statler Financial Services in Sebring, we bring you live and direct Phillip Statler. Phillip, good morning. How are you?
Hey, good morning, Dave. I hope you had a great weekend. Hey, it was sunshiny and, well, we had a little rain here and there, but man, it got warm.
It really did. I was surprised. I woke up on Sunday morning to a boil water order because the rain overnight on Saturday night, Sunday morning took out my district's water plant. Beyond that, it was a pretty doggone nice weekend because the rain stayed out of the hours in which I was awake and padding around out in the yard.
Hey, that's always a good thing. And you're right. You know, today is a holiday, which means the United States, our exchanges are closed as far as the stock exchanges. The commodities at least seems to be moving today, as well as the futures market still moving today.
Absolutely. Yeah, the headline news that I'm seeing on all my tickers this morning is evidently our traders with nothing better to do are going out and buying oil. We got to make mention of this even before we get to the commodities. Crude oil up to $60.53 a barrel. That's the better part of 2% up from the last close that we had. And that's going to reflect in gas price increases again, I'd wager.
Yeah, I'm afraid so. Man, I filled up on Friday, Dave, and man, the F-150 took more than $60 to fill up.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Boy, am I glad I got that little compact car. I've got friends that are whining about about gas prices being up, bumping their nose and exceeding $3 a gallon up in the higher tax states up in the Midwest. Here, I'm still seeing at the very least bumping our nose on $2.50, but you can stay under $2.50 with a little bit of shopping, but you might not be able to do that by the end of this week, the way those crude oil prices are going up.
I agree. I think we'll see gas over $2.50 definitely before the end of the week.
I would suspect so. Got to keep in mind that gas stations have a tendency to price based upon what they expect to have to pay next week. So we'll see the increases coming up even long before they end up having to pay the increased gasoline prices. Setting the table for the morning, talking about Friday evening. Let me go back to where that was on my screen. Friday wasn't a bad day on Wall Street. Dow was up by a modest 27 points. That wasn't enough to get up to a record, but I think that the Standard & Poor's up by 18.5 and NASDAQ up by 69 and change. That was enough to give us a couple of new closing records. Am I remembering correctly?
Yeah, it could be I don't have the closing records. The S&P was just a couple dollars shy of its intraday high anyway, of 39.37. The NASDAQ hasn't, and I don't know about closing. I don't have closing numbers, but the 52-week high for the NASDAQ intraday has been 14,109. So both of those numbers even closed relatively high to their all-time highs.
Oh, yeah, we're within inches of the records on all of them. The Dow was no slouch either. It's just lagging the other ones as it goes. And while we're off in this country, you got to keep in mind that the rest of the world doesn't call this President's Day. The rest of the world calls this Monday, and that means the futures markets are trading fairly actively this morning in advance of what looks like could be a rather busy week from economic events, among other things. And I forgot this while we were on the phone before we went on the air. We're going to get a picture of retail sales for the last quarter, aren't we?
Yeah, we are. We've got Yeah, we got retail sales coming out. Should be Wednesday, is what my calendar says, as well as the producer price index. The FOMC minutes comes out on Wednesday as well. Wednesday's going to be a really busy day, Dave. Um, Tuesday, not much. We got the New York Empire State Index coming up. But then obviously on Thursday, we've got export prices, housing starts, import prices, and as always, initial claims. So we got, I would say, other than Monday and Tuesday, we got a pretty busy week.
It's going to be a market-moving second half of the week, and a couple of marquee companies are going to be reporting this week, too. I don't remember which day. I think it's Wednesday, but Walmart is due to report, and they're kind of a bellwether off of how well we recovered after kind of a disappointing holiday season in brick-and-mortar retail. So Walmart's report could be a market mover, too.
It absolutely could be, as terms of, it is a good bellwether, not just for but not just for retail, but other things in terms of employment and some of those other things, because they're so big.
Well, there was somewhere years ago, I remember finding a statistic that said 1 out of every 50 people in this country is either affected by, serviced by, or employed by Walmart. So used to be said, what's good for General Motors is good for the country. What's good for Walmart is sometimes good for the country, at least in some quarters, right?
Yeah, exactly. And we got John Deere coming out on Friday too. That's always kind of a bellwether for the construction and agricultural industry.
Absolutely. So we've got a really busy week ahead while we sit kind of on our thumbs today, but the markets are really moving upward, and I'm not really sure I know what's causing it. I mean, the impeachment trial didn't end with anything but no surprise whatsoever, with a Republican close to a 50-50 split in the Senate. I don't think anybody expected a conviction to come through the Senate, so there wasn't really a surprise, pleasant or unpleasant, on that from a financial standpoint, but it kind of looks like the futures traders are having a good time this morning, doesn't it?
Well, it does this morning. I mean, they are moving up significantly, and it could be that just one of the things that I've said about this whole upward movement in the market is there's so much money sitting on the sidelines that's making nothing in terms of interest, that people are willing to take a little risk at this point just to make something, or have the opportunity to make something on their money. So that could be part of it. We're seeing more and more folks get vaccinated, which means that there is a hope that by next quarter we'll see more and more people out and about spending money. So that's another factor that I'm sure is weighing on the futures, Dave.
That is one thing that probably was hopeful news over the weekend anyway, because all of the talking heads were making the point that that at the very least the British variant in Florida is number one in terms of incidence of the British variant of the COVID-19. That by and large, they say that the vaccines being distributed now are effective against the Great Britain variants of it. We're concerned about the South African one, but for the most part, we've had hopeful news and no bad news on the vaccine distribution, and sometimes no bad news is enough to make a Wall Street trader optimistic.
Absolutely, that's true. The other thing we've got, we didn't talk about this either before we went on there, but Bitcoin hit a new record high of almost $50,000. So that's a huge increase from the 20-something thousand it was just a week or two ago.
You mean those guys that bought that bought a Tesla with Bitcoin last week suddenly paid twice as much as they thought they did, right?
That's right. You're right. That's the case.
Well, you were off last week. I had some fun with it. Yeah, if you scored a big drug deal, Tesla's taking Bitcoin now, so it gets there. As we said, the markets are closed today in this country, but that doesn't mean trading isn't going on. As you're looking at stuff going on this morning, Phillip, while we aren't opening at 9:30, we are trading futures. What are we looking at? Because we kind of alluded it to being a pretty good futures day today.
We are. I mean, at this point, and let's face it, on the futures market, anything could happen in the next 24 hours. But right now, we've got everything. Well, the S&P 500 and the Dow are up almost a 0.5% each. The NASDAQ, not quite as much. It's only up about 1/3%. The Russell
lost you there for a second. You there, Phillip?
Yep, there we go. There we go. Right. So the Russell 2000 is up about 1% this morning. So on the commodities front, like you were saying earlier, crude oil is up almost 2% this morning, $60.58 a barrel. Silver's taking a big jump today too, Dave, up 1.25%. Gold's down just a tad.
All right. Overseas markets where they are trading today. Asian rim markets all up markedly at the close, about 6 this morning. The Chinese composite index was up by almost 1.5%, largely off the strength of our close at the end of the week last week. Europe is having kind of a mixed bag, but it is a party. German markets are up fractionally, but the Great Britain markets are up by over 2% midway through their trading day. And as you mentioned, the big money right now seems to be heading into the oil futures, which isn't what we want because we've always said 55 a barrel's nice, 60 a barrel is getting up there a little bit. Somebody needs some advice as far as where to put that money. You said a lot of it is on the sidelines. Sometimes somebody needs more risk in their portfolio, and that's where some of the big money is going. Some folks need to control their risk. How do I find you to control mine?
Well, Dave, that's the thing, is knowing what your risk needs to be. I mean, that's the $100,000 question right there. And folks don't know what their risk number is. And that's why we designed and offer our financial x-ray so that folks can learn what their risk number is and be able to apply that to their portfolio to make sure it lines up correctly. Give us a call. Let us help walk you through that process. 863-37. Hey, check out our website, statlerfinancial.com, and then join us this weekend for the Statler Financial Radio Show, 6 a.m. and noon on Saturday, 10 a.m. Sunday morning on Highlands News Talk 730.
Lost the phone number there, 382-0037, the number for Statler Financial Services. Phillip, thank you much, and we'll catch you tomorrow, all right?
All right, man, you have a great day.
Thanks, Phillip. See you then. It's 105.7 Light FM and Statler Financial Services, Phillip Statler.
Folks, again, thanks for joining us today. Have a great day. If you're off today, enjoy your day off. Join us again tomorrow morning, same time, same place. Have a great one.